All right, so doing this from the road, I'm doing it hands-free, so I don't feel bad about it. But man, wanted to talk a little bit about that Colorado UCF game, a game that I got to see a little bit live in a bar, but then had to rewatch a good bit of it. Driving right now from Tuscaloosa, Alabama to Nashville, Tennessee, to fly home. And so I won't get home until this afternoon, and so didn't want to wait to put something out on this. Man, it's surprised, right? So UCF, man, didn't show that they were a very good team, and Colorado did show that they were a very good team, at least yesterday, right? And what does that mean for both teams going forward? I don't know. I do know that in 2 weeks, Colorado against Kansas State is, both teams have a bye. This week, Kansas State had a big-time ranked win against Oklahoma State, and Colorado, obviously, a massive, massive win against UCF. And, man, Colorado had a lot of doubters this year, and it's looking more and more like that Nebraska game just kind of got away from them early, and they just didn't have enough to come back because Colorado, man, one of the more impressive teams on the day yesterday in all of college football. There were some impressive wins. Like Kentucky was really impressive. Obviously SMU was impressive, unfortunately for me. Alabama, Georgia was something. But man, to go in as a 14-point dog and go on the road when everyone doubted you. We had Jay on from the Prime Time from College Football. I think he leaned UCF in this one. The UCF Christian Simmons that we really like and had him on was pretty UCF heavy on this. And they just absolutely blitzed them. And so let's talk about it a little bit. Colorado, really just from the start, Shedeur had that interception, and you kind of thought like, oh man, is this everything we feared? Like Shedeur turning the ball over, UCF, if they get the ground game going, then how much trouble is Shedeur in Colorado really going to be in? But man, they bounced back incredibly quick. Preston Hodge had the interception in the end zone to get them the ball right back. And then I was so impressed, and we've talked about this a ton. I was so impressed with Colorado finally getting a running game going. And man, they were really good on the ground on that first touchdown drive to go up 7-0. They got the running game going. They got the ground game going. And that set up the play action. To Hunter. Great route by Travis. I mean, I sit here and talk about Travis Hunter's ability for a week, right? I don't know that that's really necessary. You guys know how great he is, and I'm going to bring him up 4 more times here in a minute. But, it just super impressive, though, for me to get that running game going. UCF's defense, had not been great all year. There's no doubt about that. But other defenses that Colorado's played haven't been great, and you got to make those plays, and you got to actually capitalize on it. And so, I thought that was good to start the game, getting the running game going. Incredible route by Travis. Great pass by Shedeur. Travis kind of made it easy on Sanders to complete that touchdown pass. And they go up 7-0, and you're like, well, maybe we'll have a game here, right? RJ Harvey wheel route makes it 7-7. That good, great design there by Malzahn. Great design and play by UCF. That's a matchup nightmare. He's one of the best in the country. He was really good yesterday too. RJ Harvey had a nice day, even though the UCF kind of struggled on the whole. And sometimes you're just going to get beat. Sometimes the other team's going to make a play. I don't really think that Colorado could have done. Certainly, if you'd have played a different coverage, you might have been able to limit that. But man, wheel routes are undefeated for a reason. It is an incredibly hard thing to guard against. After that, the Will Shepherd touchdown, the catch was insane, right? To go up 14-7. Will Shepherd, like the announcer even said this, like it looked like the defender was tracking the ball like a center fielder, and Will Shepherd just jumped over him and caught it. That's just an absolute effort want play. Like, I'm going to go up and be better than you. I mean, we know how good this wide receiving core is for Colorado. That play was ridiculous. And shout out to Will Shepherd for getting that. It's all of a sudden 14-7. I thought Hayden had a rushing touchdown that made it 21-7. run game going on that drive too. Like I thought they did a good job there with the rushing attack. I thought KJ in UCF's answer was really good. They came back down. He completed some nice passes. KJ had the rushing touchdown to make it 21-14. And then from there, like, it was all Colorado. It was everything Colorado wanted to do. They controlled the rest of the game. I mean, at that point, would they go on a they went on a so it was 21-7. They went on a 27-7 run to finish the game from there. That 3rd and 6, so late in the first half, 2.5, 3 minutes left. Late in the first half, they have a 3rd and 6 inside their own 20, and Shedeur makes one of the most ridiculous looking spin moves to get out of a sack and throw it to who else but Travis Hunter along the sideline. UCF meltdown face mask, gives them 15 more yards, and that play. Now it only got Colorado a field goal, which they ended up getting another field goal late in the half. But that play was so big because if they don't convert that 3rd and 6, like say he does get sacked there or just throws it away, right? Like maybe doesn't get sacked. They don't convert that, then UCF, having just scored a touchdown, has the ball with a chance to go tie it up or make it a 4-point game before halftime. And instead, you got the field goal and another field goal later due to really good defense. I thought, and some questionable decision making by UCF. That play by Sanders is underrated. It only led to a field goal. I get that. That play was huge because if UCF would have gotten that ball back, I think that would have been, it could have played out much differently. UCF gets that ball back with 2 minutes to go. They had just scored. They go down and score again. Man, who knows how the half and certainly the game ends up from there. Great defense by UCF to force the punt. Phenomenal return by Horn Jr. puts you in great field position. Shedeur back there on that first down after the punt return. Great to just dump it over the middle and get the completion and go. And get out of bounds. I mean, UCF, bad defense there. I don't know if they thought they were going to take a shot or what, but I thought that was weird. And you get the field goal going into half. Mata gives you a 13-point lead. You're up 27-14 at the half. And I think UCF, it's hard to know, and maybe you guys chime into the comments, let me know. It's hard to know when you rewatch a game what the feeling of the game is, because you're not watching it. You're watching it with too much information. I was watching it at that. I didn't see that field. I didn't see going into half. Like we were kind of walking up to the stadium and stuff, so I didn't see that. It felt like watching it though, like UCF was just shell shocked. Was like, what? We did not expect this. Like, this is not the way we saw this going down at all. And I don't know if that carried over to the second half or not, but they certainly weren't. They certainly weren't the same team there. It's 34-14. They get a touch. Colorado gets a touchdown to start the second half. The Hunter interception. I know Cam Ward's had a nice year. I know that others have had really. Milroe last night was phenomenal. Nearly 500 yards of offense. To me, the Heisman Trophy has to go to Travis Hunter, and I get it. We're just 5 games in. Maybe more will happen, and we'll see stuff from other guys. But man, if they win 7 games, which it looks like they're going to win 7 games right now, right? It's hard for me to not think that Colorado could win 7 games. Are they going to win every game? I don't know, but games that you thought were like a sure loss, I think are now looking more likely like wins. I think they can beat Utah. I think they're going to beat Cincinnati. Certainly, Kansas State's going to be a tough one, but they could beat Kansas State. That's not like a sure loss or anything like that. That game is going to be massive, and we'll talk about it a ton. So make sure you're subscribed. I've got some Kansas State folks that we get on regularly. If you're a Colorado fan, get some really good Kansas State insight from John Kurtz, who I think is really, really fair. And then, of course, we'll talk about it from the Colorado perspective with Jay from Prime Time from College Football. So make sure you're subscribed. But man, every game looks like it's pretty winnable now for Colorado. But going back to the interception, if Travis Hunter isn't the Heisman right now, he should be the Heisman right now. We'll see what happens. If Miami goes 13-0, they're going to give it to a quarterback. That's just what's going to happen. But yeah, like it feels like it's Travis Hunter's to win. As it's raining again, I'm hands-free. I'm not holding this. That's why it's jiggling, because it's on the thing. I just crossed the line into Tennessee. So any Tennessee followers or listeners, let me know that you're here in the great state of Tennessee, the Volunteer State. UCF touchdown. After that, they make it 34-21, a little bit more respectable before it gets out of hand again. I mean, a nice job by UCF fighting back. They came back from a big comeback early in the year against TCU. You know they've got it in them, but Tennessee gets to 21 points. After that, I thought Augusta, their running game, man, was better than I think anyone expected. Coach Prime knew they had to get that going, and that's a good sign for Colorado. Not that UCF's defense is great, but just the fact that they got the running game going is a big, big deal. And if that continues to be a strength, if that continues to be something that Colorado can kind of lean on, take some of that pressure off Shedeur, just make those passing lanes easier. Make those passing lanes easier because they have to respect your run. If Colorado can continue to do that, watch out, because they can win a lot of games like that. They've needed a running game for the last year and a half, and I think they finally figured something out yesterday. We'll see if it's long-term or not. The Shedeur Sanders, the flip to, I think it was Wester. Correct me if I'm wrong, comments. I think it was Wester, the pitch ahead, makes it 41-21. And then probably the most impressive thing to me, well, not the most impressive, but another really, really impressive aspect of this was the way that the defense shut it down from there. Not that at 41-21 you don't think it's going to be shut down, and even then it would have taken a minor miracle, right? 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter for them to have it, for UCF to have come back, and so I didn't expect it anyway. But the way that the defense, UCF got inside the 2-yard line, down to the 1, on the next drive, and goal line stand. That's toughness, man. That is such toughness. And toughness is not necessarily the way that many people would have described Colorado last year. I don't think they would have said they were a tough team. So they're very talented, but they weren't good in the trenches. They weren't good defensively. They didn't seem incredibly tough. They were tough yesterday. To get a goal line stand against the number 1 rushing offense that you're going to see, one of the best in the country, that was impressive. And then they follow it up by doing the same exact thing the next drive. Now, it was kind of a goal line stand. It wasn't really a goal line stand, but they got the ball down to the goal line, and the ball gets punched out and run back for a touchdown. 93 yards? Is that what I have written down? 93 yards for a fumble, scoop, and score to make it 48-21. Game over. That's it. That was what a cherry on top. What icing on top. Really, really impressive. By Colorado. Defensively, you gave up 21 points, but you scored 7. So essentially the defense gave up 14 points, like a net of 14 against UCF on the road. That's, man, for all the crap that Colorado gets, like, I don't know what more you could want. If I'd have told you the defense is basically going to give up 14 points, you said, yeah, this is an easy win. And guess what? It was an easy win. Colorado was phenomenal yesterday. Their games, it's not going to be like last year. It's not. I don't think the hype is going to get to the same level, but the hype bubble is going to continue to grow, and the hype train is going to continue to grow, especially because they're going into a bye week, and then with Kansas State coming up, that's going to be a massive matchup. I don't know if they're going to rank Colorado or not. Nebraska. That Nebraska game, man, still kind of frustrates you. Like, man, if they could have just found a way there, being 5-0 would be insane. But being 4-1 is really impressive, right? And they've done it different ways. They've done it in comebacks. They've done it dominating. They've done it just bullying people. Obviously, the Nebraska one frustrates you. But, man, if I'd have offered you 4-1 going to the bye week, most of us would have taken it, right? Most Colorado folks would have said, like, yep, that's good. So impressive. Listen, I forgot to mention this on the RJ Harvey wheel route. Again, Travis's effort of trying to chase him down, and if he had 10 more yards, probably would have got him, was pretty impressive. Forgot to mention that. Shedeur, really good, bounced back after the interception. UCF has a big one next week, and so for any UCF folks that follow or listen, probably all of their goals are still there. For the Big 12, you just have to win out, right? They have no room for error, no margin for error now. And you have to question, what happened? Did they look ahead to Florida? Was it just Colorado's day? Is UCF maybe were they a little overrated? Did you just get caught napping? Was it just an off game, right? Or did you just get soundly beat by a team that's better than you? Like, all those are options, and I don't, we'll have to see how they respond next week in the Swamp against a team that is not very good but is very talented. A team that doesn't have a Shedeur Sanders or a Travis Hunter, but a team that does, pretty well in a very tough environment to play. You scored 21 at home. You're probably gonna need more than that against Florida, right? And Florida doesn't, they don't do things exactly, they don't have a dynamic player like Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders. But how does UCF respond? I think if I'm Florida, I don't like that UCF won or lost this game. I would have rather UCF won it because it would make me feel better about the future and what might happen this weekend. But yeah, I think UCF will refocus. I think they'll still be a favorite. I don't know if they'll be a favorite. I think FPI will say that they should win in the Swamp still. But we'll see. We'll see what ESPN says about that. I guess that's something I could have checked before I got on here, but I didn't know that I would go down that route. You just get on here and start rolling, and we're 16 minutes in at this point. So yeah, impressive for Colorado. UCF, a chance to bounce back. It's one game. It is frustrating. But you had your chances. They just weren't sharp enough, and Colorado kind of got whatever they wanted. It looked easy for Colorado, and I think Colorado obviously shocked a lot of people. They have to build on it, though, and I think the bye comes at a perfect time. Emotional big win like that, you like to take the week off. You like to take the week to regroup, just kind of clear your mind of it. Don't read your own press clippings. For UCF, you're glad that you do play. You're glad that you just get right back out there, flush it, and go, right? So for Colorado, it's going to be 2 weeks of hype leading up to that Kansas State game. Both teams off. Both teams massive wins yesterday. Maybe they rank Colorado. I don't know. We'll see by the time I land on the flight. I'll be able to see the AP poll, but maybe they rank Colorado, and that could be a ranked matchup this week or in 2 weeks. So, all right, listen. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hit subscribe if you are not already. I appreciate you guys a ton for tuning in to College Football Addiction. Again, did this hands-free, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed it and it hasn't shaken around too much here on the dash. But yeah, I wanted to share some thoughts, wanted to get that to you. Flying out of Nashville here in a little bit, and so didn't want to wait until I got home. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in. I do want to hear your thoughts, but man, impressive from Coach Prime, the Buffs. Obviously the best player in the country, Travis Hunter, Shedeur. The defense, the offensive line, both the trenches were really good. I know Sanders got sacked a couple of times, but all that really good, really impressive. And man, we'll talk to you guys soon. We will certainly talk more about the Buffs, more about UCF as this season goes along. Had other videos that you can check out by clicking on the screen now if you would like to see those here at College Football Addiction.